Buenos dias, low baggers. Welcome into another edition of a Betting with Bouquett. My name is Jose Bouquett. Thanks for watching, as always, everyone. And it is, I believe, Thursday, May 12th. Got a nice card for us today. Start off NHL, MLB, NBA, Mr. Gogster, Big Ragu, Dutch Boy Fresh joining us today. Fun day coming. I had a shit day yesterday. Poor performance on my part, but our experts absolutely dominated. Gogster pulled out his broom, took out a sweep on the NHL there, a 2-gamer for us. Mr. freaking Derl Rice, it's Derl, hit with his his NBA bet, little Memphis first quarter, and he said he would only go with Memphis trifecta, and there it was. Memphis beat that ass last night. And my guy ConorMac and Taint play the day cashes. Connor does well, gets a push. Can't cash on the Seattle Mariners, which killed me as well. A shocking performance by Logan Gilbert. I wasn't shocking, but just a bad performance by the offense, I would say. Not Logan Gilbert's best. And he gets a push on that first 5 on the Yankees-Blue Jays game. So overall, pretty successful day for our panelists and our guests. Me, I had a shit day, but I tailed all of our picks and ended up breaking, pretty even-ish, I would say, overall. But I didn't do the math because I was just having a shit baseball day, and I was like, oh, fuck that. So no thanks there. Let's say howdy to everyone in the chat. Roger that, first in here. Shout out to you. Paul Trippy, his pick of the day is all the favorites win. Sam Colmer, Brian Kozlowski in there asking Sam about the North London Derby today. Hope Tottenham does win that. I think Arsenal folds. We'll see. Maddie Ice in here. Welcome to the show, Maddie. Shout out to you for the Taint play of the day, my guy. Sam Colmer on Spurs money line. That's nice. That makes me feel better that I was right about that. Maddie Ice, my guy. Tim Montana in here. Shout out to you, my guy. D Jenkins in here. Puzzler, shout out to you. Dick Martinez, Viper MB, Nilo, all you guys. Shout out to Jedi for Life. Jeff Slaughter in the building. Shout out to you, Jeff. Thanks for turning off the alarm in the bar, for letting me in the beautiful Southtown 101 right here in San Antonio, Texas. Come in, get some beers, wings, drinks, all that good stuff. Nick Martin, what's up, man? Jimmy on vacation, Nick Martin. Don't you worry. Jimmy did not get canned. He's just enjoying a nice little vacation. He'll be back on Wednesday. Until then, it's just me hosting the show, and it'll be great. It'll be a great time. Don't you worry, my guy. He'll be back, though. Red Girl, Osby, Ronnie, and Bergia. Big Ragu in the chat, my guy. Shout out to you, Big Ragu. You'll be joining us later today. Or slap that ass. Play hits again. Red Girl, I got to get on the graphics on that. I already have it in mind, and I will get on that when I am not hosting the show. So those graphics will come very soon. But let's get right into it. A loaded NHL card today, a 4-gamer, and I am very excited about this card. I prepared pretty heavily, I would say, for the NHL. I definitely left the NBA behind a little bit, hoping that my just general knowledge of it will help. And on top of that, I didn't want to read anything about the NBA because the Celtics really hurt my feelings last night, and so did the Boston Red Sox. I am just remembering these things happening to me as I see my guy Nasty Nate in the chat. What up to you, Nate? But let's get right into it. Let's bring on our first guest, the Pride. I like to think that Belleville is a nice place. I like to think that Belleville is kind of, scenic views with hardworking people and not as dirty as Jimmy says. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Gogster, joining us.
Hey. No, Jose, it's pretty grimy. You got people in pajamas walking around everywhere. You got to watch out for
that's comfort.
There's the pigeons. I don't know what it is. We got Canadian geese that like to chase after you too. It's a dangerous place up here, but very beautiful, very scenic. I can agree with that part.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I hope that I can one day.
One day, brother.
The mighty Belleville. It will be a great time. What province are you in? Is that I said that provinces? Hell yeah, that's my Canadian.
We're in Ontario. We call it Ontario, but we're in Ontario.
On terrible. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I'm glad to know. I feel smart because I know that Canada has provinces, and that's general knowledge that I think everyone should know. So,
what's going on, everyone in the chat? Let's get after it here. We got NHL hockey. Let's go. Let's get after it. What some games last night? Holy shit! Did you see those? Holy 3-0. We were down.
I did. I watched them all. And at one point, Gogster, I was like, wow. Well, I'm over whatever in baseball.
I was nervous.
Both of our NHL teams are down 3-0. I was like, well, this is setting up to be a disastrous night. But the Florida Panthers come back kind of unsurprisingly if you watch them throughout the year.
Right.
And then shocking to me, but I didn't know that Sidney Crosby got elbowed in the mouth. The Rangers come back and tie that, or I should say win that game. Don't tie the series. I think they're down 3-2 now.
They are.
But Crosby out. Maybe he has a little conky. Who knows? We'll see how that goes.
Another one. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a tough time for him. It might be his first one since he had his whole issues with his head and neck, I think, right? So we'll see there. And then, I don't know what we're going to make about the Panthers and the Capitals. They just play on a fucking knife edge. And I think the Panthers are a fun team. And my guy, Verhaeghe, I like him a lot now. I've talked about him 3 days in a row. Yeah. He's fantastic. But Gogster, I'm excited to talk about these games, and I will make a wardrobe change at some point during this segment, Gogster, because I think a team needs my support, and I'm going to give it to them.
Where's the Bruins jersey? Yeah, I was kind of wondering. You didn't have it on today.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Gogster. I did grab it, and I was going to wear it, but I did forget it at home when I was leaving because I'm extremely forgetful. That is what I do, Gogster. But thanks for bringing up those Bruins because we're talking about them first. Favored at home. It does seem like this is one of those series. You just went at home. They got smacked in the mouth last time out. Jacob Slavin and my man, I would say not my man, but I remember him on the Blues. I think he was on Tony DeAngelo. Him out there. Rangers. Okay, see, there we go. I'm trying to remember all these players. I remember the Blues just smacking the Bruins in the mouth, but we'll talk about them later too. And in what I have learned in my little time capping the NHL, and shout out to Dennis Garcia for this, I think 5-on-5 is pretty important, Gogster.
Very much.
I think 5-on-5 is pretty important, and if you cannot win 5-on-5, be competent 5-on-5, it does not seem to pan out for you. And the Bruins right now, it seems like they stink 5-on-5, Gogster.
They're not scoring, Jose, yeah.
Yeah, I would say 6 of their 13 goals have been even strength, I believe. And that's not good, Gogster. I would say that needs to be increased. Their power play has not been great this year. I remember throughout the year, it was like 0 for 30 at some points. I'm kind of down on this team, and Jeremy Swayman has still not really sold me because I am an undying Tuukka Raskite and Tim Thomasite. And I need my goalies to win me over, I guess. But I guess the Bruins are favored, obviously, here because they're at home and they're feeling good about the Bruins at home. So I am going to stay off this game ultimately. But Gogster, are you going to have something on this game? And obviously, remember the show last time, I'm tailing all my guests' picks. So we were golden last time, Gogster. Let's fucking do it again, huh?
Let's go, buddy. Jeremy Swayman and Antti Raanta. Lindholm, guys. Going to get a little insight on Lindholm. He was skating this morning. That's one of the defensive players they got in the trade from Anaheim. He was a great addition. If they can get him back in the lineup, that'll be huge.
I expected him back.
Yeah, I am expecting him back too, since he was skating there. Because the line they had there with Grzelcyk and Carlo, they're trying to avoid that, and they had to go back to that last couple games. So, with that being said, they got to stay out of the box, Jose. I was reading a report: 27 penalties in 5 games for Boston. That's way too many. They're taking way too many penalties. That's also telling me that Carolina is skating circles around Boston. They're heading there. They're trying to slow them down. They're taking penalties. So their Raanta hasn't looked too bad either. With that being said, though, they're 2-0 at home. Carolina has not been able to win on the road this year, or in the playoffs this year. They got a 0% power play on the road, Carolina, with a 71% penalty kill. That's only in 2 games, guys. But playoff hockey here, you'd expect Carolina. They've been night and day, really, Jose, between what they've done on the road, at home, and on the road. So I kind of lean towards Boston, but you're getting still plus money on Carolina at that plus 105. So I don't like the line here, Jose. I do think Boston's going to – I wouldn't be surprised if they win and Carolina win this one Game 7 back home in a couple nights. But I have nothing on this play there, guys. I would lean towards the under, just the way Boston haven't been able to score. I imagine they can't take as many penalties, Jose. That's a big thing they're going to try and want to cut down on, because 27 penalties in 5 games, guys, that's just not right. So I lean towards the under here. Nothing I'm strong on. Billy Frederick saying they close it out tonight. I'm not sure if they do. Lindholm is good, Cheshire Cat saying so. Great addition for Boston. I think they extend it. I really do, Jose, but I don't want to have my money on it. I don't trust enough, because Carolina, if you guys know, back in November, I played this team 16-1 to win the Cup and to win the East. I believe it was 7 or 8-1. So I think Carolina, they're my playoff team, my Stanley Cup team. So nothing on this game, but I do lean Boston here, guys.
I will throw my support behind the team later on in the show. Like I mentioned, I think the Bruins are kind of cooked. And the issue, I guess, is that this team has a lot of what-ifs going into the offseason, I've learned. Let's talk about my guy, the leader, the C, I believe he has it now, Bergeron. Yeah. Free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone, because I know the Bruins are very cheap. But everyone talking here that Bergeron has a good game. Bergeron props.
I think so. I like that, guys. Great luck. Could be his last home game if they do end up losing there. So
yeah,
I would expect Patrice Bergeron is probably one of the best playoff hockey players I've seen in the last 10 years. He's top 5. I would say.
Yeah, he's one of the best players you've seen in the last 10 years.
That too, but in the playoffs, man, he's that French style of hockey. He's just so good. I've watched as a Toronto fan. He's broken our hearts several times, those Bruins. So they know how to win these games. Boston now, it's going to be tough, because Carolina, you guys have seen it. They're the better hockey team. 27 penalties will tell you that in 5 games. So I'm going to move on here, Jose, but I'm gonna stay off this one. I wish everyone the best of luck in the chat. I lean towards Boston though.
Okay, fair enough. Chief, by the way, asking a good question. If Jose's filling in for Jimmy, who's filling in for Jose? And shout out to my man Victor, who has made all the graphics, doing a great job. And we figured out yesterday's, but we got it now. We got it all under control. Now let's talk about the series that everyone wants to talk about, Gogster. Let's fucking do it. This is it, Gogster.
Oh, here we go.
Everything's on the line. Tampa Bay, Toronto here. The 18 years of pain. Let's go, Gogster. We all know the stats. 16-0 from, I should say 16-0, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and back-to-back,
I got one for Toronto.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about it.
Well, they're 0-7 in game-clenching series wins since 2018. 0-7. And they're 1-8 since 2017 when leading in a series. 1-8. So Toronto doesn't do too well in these closing games, and Tampa Bay's, man, they're just 16-0 in the last 3 years when faced with an elimination game. So the numbers are not on Toronto's side, to say the least.
No, I saw this number at a -120 yesterday, and I privately made a little wager on the Tampa Bay. I privately made a private. I was like, there's no way that's going to be the same.
Great line. Good number there, Jose. Great number.
And that was yesterday during the hockey game. So, like, of course, that was a very early line, and I was pretty surprised to see even a line out there yet. But they kind of know who's going this game. It's obviously going to be Vasilevsky, Jack Campbell. We know everything about these teams. Gogster go at each other, fucking a shitload of penalties this series, but they'll figure it out, I guess. I don't know. It's been a weird hockey, I've heard. It's just never 5-on-5. There's always a penalty. There's 4-on-4, blah, blah, blah. And we'll talk about the last game real quick, Gogster. I thought the Leafs were fucked. I thought this was done over. I was like, Tampa Bay 2-0 lead? No way. They don't come back. Austin Matthews, and basically all the high-paid, big-money guys come in there and do their stuff. And they come in. And I like Austin Matthews. The fact that we have the same mustache might be a factor of it, actually, now that I think about it. But I heard some little birds told me, a.k.a. a podcast to listen to, told me that it's basically Jason Spezza got the boys going during the intermissions. He gave a big speech, and the Leafs rolled. And I think, Gogster, I'm playing a little devil's advocate, I guess, but I think this might be it. That goal that Austin Matthews scored might have just released the Leafs from their shackles.
Oh, you're
And would you be
oh,
surprised? How
stop,
surprised would you
stop.
be if the Toronto Maple Leafs won this game? On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised would you be?
7. I'd say a 7.
7.
Yeah, I would be surprised. Man, they're 0-7 in the last 4 years. It's been nothing but tears, as all us Toronto fans know. What is Dennis saying there? I don't know. I don't know why, but Toronto wins tonight. Well,
Mm.
I like the belief. I like the strong vibes there. Tampa bums. It on the road though, man. When Toronto's at home, that crowd, guys, I'm telling you, Toronto, they're really rallying behind the crowd. Now on the road, every time Toronto's won that one game, Tampa Bay's bounced back. So game one, 5-0 Toronto, 5-3 Tampa Bay, 5-2 game three Toronto, 7-3 Tampa Bay. So they've been bouncing back every time, scoring 5 goals too. This could be. I lean towards some goals here too, guys. Not too many injuries you got to worry about. My gut's telling you here, guys. I think it's going 7 games back to Toronto. I do think Tampa Bay is gonna win this one. I think it's going to be a little bit too much for guys. It happens so much, like with Toronto, and they're choking. I have a hard time. The numbers are the numbers too. Ronnie's saying there in the chat. I have a hard time trusting Toronto here on the road in a game clinching. Like I don't want my bias to come into play here, but I do think it's going to go 7, and I think Toronto does win in game 7, which sounds even more blasphemy. But I do think I think Tampa Bay is gonna win this one, guys.
What line do you think the Maple Leafs will open at if this gets to a game 7?
If it goes to a game 7, I'd say it would be minus 120 on Toronto, plus 100 on Tampa.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it opened at last night for this game. Man, oh man, I am really excited about.
This is going to be a game and a half.
This is going to be a really, really good game. I want to ask you this, Gogster. Do you remember the last time the Tampa Bay Lightning had an elimination game?
I don't know about a game 7, but they're 16-0 following a playoff loss. They're a team they've won the Cup, Jose, the last 2 years. So any elimination game they've had. Now, I don't know how many series they've had to be in that situation, because I know they ran all over Columbus, and so on and so forth. But what I'm thinking, guys, is just Toronto at home is where they're going to get her done. On the road, I don't like their mojo. This is really weird capping. Usually you got more numbers and stats, but in these playoffs, I'm really going to trust the fact that Tampa Bay's been what Tampa Bay's done. And, we got Jack Campbell, they got Andre Vasilevsky, but at home, Toronto's a whole different hockey team.
I agree with you. I privately took the Lightning, like I said, at minus 120. I'm not going to give it out as an official play, obviously, but
yeah, I have no play on these the next 2 games, guys. I'm going to have some action, but I lean towards the 2 home teams, but I think Carolina, Toronto win the series. That's why I'm a little hesitant.
Okay. Ryan Kozlowski, by the way, shouted it out. It was last year, 2021, against the Isles in Game 7. That was the last time they've had an elimination game.
What a series that was.
Dennis Garcia saying, I don't think the Leafs win Game 7. They have all the pressure in the world on them. That's what I would be thinking, too. Lightning played that trick night. Let's see. Florida wins hands down compared to Toronto. Paul Trippy here. Cheshire Cat think it would be a pick'em in Game 7.
Yeah, minus 115, minus 105, yeah.
Johnny K saying the Leafs are cooked if it goes to 7. And Gogster, you got an agreement here with Ronnie Umberg. I'm with you, Gogster. This is going 7. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty obvious that this game's going to go 7. Vasilevsky's a machine, so I think this will be a fun game to watch for sure. Let's talk about this game, because I am shocked, Gogster. I am shocked. I did not think the St. Louis Blues would win the last game. I don't think anyone thought the Blues were going to win the last game. I saw everyone and their fucking moms on the Wild last time out. I bet the Wild, and they got shit on. I wouldn't say shit on, but they lost pretty handily on the scoreboard. I'll say that. I don't know about physically and how the pace of play and all that shit goes, but it seems like it's just Kaprizov on the Wild, and that's basically it. With Andre, or not Vasilevsky, I mean Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury just going back there and doing his thing. But the Wild needs to step up, and I remember the discussions pre this series. It was young team versus old vets. Who wins this playoff series? And it seems like the vets might have the advantage here. Obviously, we know the Blues are up 3-2. Binnington comes back and shines. I don't really know how that. Has he been bad this year, Gogster? I thought he was the next dude. Like, he wins that Stanley Cup, and I was like, okay, well, this is the next goalie. This is the next guy right here.
He's had his struggles during the regular season. Ville Husso took over the job. He looked great in the regular season, but when you have playoff hockey, it's just night and day. And Husso started to look shaky. They threw in Binnington the last 2 games. They've won the last 2 games now. So, look at what Dallas did when they went up against Tampa Bay in the finals. There, guys, they had Khudobin came out of nowhere and took it and ran with the team. So, and Binnington's done this before. He came out of nowhere and took their team to the Stanley Cup Finals and won it. So, yeah, playoff pedigree is a real thing in NHL playoffs, and St. Louis, they have it, and Minnesota, they got Kaprizov, they got Fiala, Hartman, Boldy. They got a lot of really good up and comers, but when it comes to guys that have had a lot of playoff experience, I don't see really any of it on their team.
A lot of people on St. Louis today, too, it seems. Not applicable to say St. Louis dark horse in the playoff. Paul Trippy saying Fleury has reached his time up. Blues are hot on fire right now. Wild are poverty. Rodney Barton. Flower has sweet pads there by Billy Friedrich. D. Jickens saying Blues to win the West is still alive at plus 800. Not bad there. Yeah. And Billy can also believe that the Blues are only minus 113 here.
Me too. Wow. So I pulled the trigger on Blues guys money line. I found it at minus 104 at one of my books. That's going to be one of the plays I'm putting out here. They got Bertuzzo and Leddy back. Those are 2 big additions on the back end. That was in my opinion, that's a big reason. People probably didn't think they were going to be going in Minnesota, but those are 2 big guys in the back end to have. They're getting healthier. They're looking great. Tarasenko with that hat trick. As the game goes on, it looks like St. Louis gets more comfortable and Minnesota are trying to struggle to find their offense. So I don't think St. Louis, the last thing they want to do is have to go back to Minnesota in a game 7. One of the guys in the chat saying Flowers looked a little like he's kind of coming to the end. And I do agree there. I'm really still surprised to this beginning of the playoffs. They didn't start Talbot, but I understand, Fleury's got the experience, but he's he looks like he can be beat. And I don't like the back end from Minnesota. On the road, they've been shaky, even looking back to the regular season, Jose. So I think we're getting a friendly line here. I'm going to pull the trigger on the Blues and not think twice. Minus 104, guys. First one on the card. And Billy Friedrich here saying Leddy's from Minnesota too, so expect good things from him. A bit of motivation to beat your hometown team there. But yeah, Binnington there, Puzzler saying he's been looking so much better. 2-0 since he's came back. And as the game goes on, 8 goals in the third period from St. Louis compared to 5 from Minnesota. They're starting off hot, Minnesota, but they're struggling to close teams out. So give me the Blues money line minus 104, Jose.
All right, well, I'm on there with you. I got a shitty line at minus 115, but I'm still riding with you, Gogster. I'll take the Blues. Makes a whole lot of sense to me. They're at home. I don't really, like I said, I don't really understand why there would be a minus 115. I thought there would be a higher favorite there. But, the Fiala and those boys, if they don't come now.
They need production from you. Yeah, 2 goals in the last 2 games against Binnington, and it's been Kaprizov, 7 goals in the series. Other than him, you're right.
That's the most. I learned that's the most ever for a Minnesota Wild player in a series. 7 beat the record.
That guy's special. The puck flies off his stick.
Minnesota sold the farm for this series or for this season. So, yeah, it's one of those things. It's really sad. I hope the Wild do extend the series because I do like when teams go all in, and I personally have a little bit of a grudge against the Blues for the Stanley Cup, but I do have money on the Blues, so we'll see there. Now, Gogster, this is it. It's time.
Oh,
it's time, Gogster.
Oilers.
It's time.
I was expecting the Bruins.
I'm tired of it, Gogster.
Oh, here we go.
My guy getting slandered on these streets.
McJesus.
Wow,
with the headset.
With the headset on. Oilers Kings.
Get the elbows up.
I can't believe that they lost that last game. I can't believe it. Connor McDavid put the whole fucking team on his back. The whole team on his back at the end there. Gogster, I'll be honest with you. They were down early. I was like, again, are we going to do this again? I fell asleep. I took like a 30-minute nap, whatever happened. I wake up, tie game. I was like, what the fuck happened? And I just saw that. Yeah, right? I saw that, and I see that now Connor and Leon were playing on the same line. I was like, okay, well, that's weird. And I don't know how typical it is that the coach is just shifting lines left and right that whole last game, trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What works?
And figured out that, hey, guess what? If we put our two best players on the same line again, it turns out they'll be pretty good. Connor was fantastic. He's my favorite player. I've liked him since he came in. I actually bought this jersey after I watched him play like 2 games. I was like, all right, I'm in.
Sold.
I'm in. He's super fast. That's all I need to see. And God damn it, Connor. This is your time. This is it. Win this game for the freaking Oilers. Win this game and be a legend and take it back to Edmonton and win the series and give us the Battle of Alberta in round 2. Damn it. Give it to us, Connor.
Did anyone know Jose was such an Oilers fan? Because I didn't.
I'm a Connor McDavid guy.
Okay. Connor McDavid. Draisaitl. Yeah, you got to not discredit Draisaitl. He's just as important as McDavid. Putting the puck in the back of the net. He was very clutch last game. You know, the LA Kings were falling apart at the wheel. We were talking about it the other night in the recap in that third period. But they came out in overtime and they just were all over them. It was embarrassing, really, for Edmonton. Now, looking at what it's been a tale of 2 tapes, really, because they won 8-3. And then came back and lost the game 4 there for was it 4-0? Oh, yeah, I believe it was 4-0. So it's been a tale of 2 tapes. I do think we're going to have some goals here. Now, one thing you guys want to know, Darnell Nurse is not going to be playing. He's suspended. He's gone. He's out of there for kind of he's got to be. I know you want to be aggressive, and not aggressive. That's the wrong word. You can't be aggressive in the playoffs. You got to be smart. Physical. He's a little too aggressive. There looked like he tried to headbutt Deneau. So he's out for this game. That's awful. He's 16 minutes on the ice last game with Cece. So you got Keith, Bouchard, Kulak, and Barry. They got problems on the back end. They got a lot of problems. And with these goals against expected, 7.65 goals against from LA Kings. Game before that, 3.35. They've been their expected goals are every game it's been up there. And I don't see why it won't follow suit here. Similar to St. Louis, I don't think LA is going to want to go back to Edmonton for a game 7. So, the Kings, you're getting a nice line. I would definitely be leaning towards the Kings here, but I pulled the trigger on the over 6.5 minus 102. I got that at, guys. When you have a game like this too, the empty netters, Jose, are a real thing. If Edmonton's down,
they pull them early, right?
They'll pull them early, and even if they're down 2 goals, still they could pull them again and wait. So you can get that 5-2, 6. Like you could see some late goals here, even maybe a third period over here. I really think Mike Smith, he's doing the best he can, but without Nurse, you're going to be hurt in Edmonton. I would lean towards Kings getting it done, but I think we see a goal fest here. Could be an overtime game again. But yeah, give me the over 6.5 there, buddy. Minus 102. We're pulling the trigger.
Beautiful. Over 6.5 in Edmonton. LA King. Well, you said that odds were again. Sorry about that.
It's minus 102. So
minus 102.
Almost even. Yeah.
Close to even money, Gogster. All right. I'm excited. This is by the way, I'll mention this really quick. This is another one of those examples where the Kings are just kind of smacking the Oilers around 5-on-5. I call this the Dennis Garcia again. 5-on-5, Gogster, 13-11 goals wise to the Kings.
Yep.
They've
been an underdog the whole series.
Yeah, every other situation, Gogster, it's 10-2 Edmonton. So
they can't go to the box. That's what that tells you, Jose. Go to the box, you're in deep shit.
By the way,
power play.
I texted you this, and you did not respond to this message, and I don't understand why you didn't. But the Kings coach looks like a hobbit. He looks like a little hobbit out there. And I was like, oh my God. So shout to him. I just wanted to make that, be aware of everyone that he looks like one of the hobbits in Lord of the Rings.
You know, it's funny. He was, if I believe I'm correct here, he was the Oilers coach not too long ago. He was the Oilers coach with McDavid and Draisaitl. So, yeah, he definitely knows this team. I'm surprised I'm not even thinking about this, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I'm pretty sure, the coach for the Kings was the Oilers coach in the past. He's been around the block. So
that seems like it's good mojo for the Kings too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and that will be really funny once he's like celebrating, like "fuck you guys got me fired."
It wasn't me, it was you.
Let's go to the chat real fast. Kyle Hillen making his big boy bets: 5K Edmonton, 5K on Tampa Bay today. I mean, that's what we're leaning to. So,
I think the Edmonton one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings.
Maybe do it on the over. There you go. Kyle, just root both teams. Get a little over action. HG Tube thought I was going to struggle putting this on. Gogster, I bet you thought I was going to struggle
Canadian teams here. I love it. Respect.
Yeah.
Let's
go. Look at us. You think I was going to be a Bruin? No.
Your dickhead takes it in the chin tonight.
Oh, Mike M. Come on, Mike M. Come on. LJ from Houston talking about losing parlays on these Oilers. That's brutal. I understand that. Let's go through these. These are piling up here. Mike Smith, the disappointment. Yeah, give up a softie.
He's doing the best he can. It's just he's getting peppered back there. He's really getting left out to dry. Expected goals are just – it's not good. And without Nurse, guys, the Oilers are in trouble.
Dennis, of course, on the LA Kings to win the series plus 215. You guys are mentioning the goalies. That's pretty obvious. The pedigree, was just right there. Jared TG learning that I know more about just baseball than I've learned hockey in my bag. Maybe I prepare pretty well, huh? We got to prepare well. Shout out to all you guys. Salute my guy Alonzo Davies. Shout out here, gas station Tampa, Edmonton, for how which I cannot wait for this.
Let me Jose. I got some money together down here. I'm just from Brazil, and I on the road. Like we got down the top, so feeling out of the dry. I've done some plus. And I'll go see hockey game like it's been the last few. And more than that, I think the loss of Darnell Nurse is another team, and I wouldn't be surprised if LA wins this one. So I got action on the over 6.5 and a lean to the LA Kings along with St. Louis money line minus 102. Jose.
Interesting. And by the way, it seems like the stream might be breaking up. I don't know. This sounds weird. I will see. I will investigate.
You sound good on my end, Mike. You sound good, buddy. On my
end. I know. I sound pretty good on my end too. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was getting a little choppy. Okay.
All right, so we will do a little research and deep dive and figure out what's wrong with that. But we will say goodbye to Gogster.
Guys, be good. We'll see you next week when Jimmy returns for round 2 of the hockey playoffs and get that cash. Leche.
Thank you, my man, Mr. Gogster. Now let us go into a commercial real quick before we bring in the Big Ragu, and let's investigate some audio issues real fast. Let's figure this out together. But of course, let's say hello to our balls real fast.
What's going on, sports gamblers? I don't need to tell you that sometimes when you're betting on sports, making a good bet takes giant balls. But every once in a while, there's a downside to having giant cojones. That's right. Anytime you're exercising, anytime you're working out, sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable. There's some extra chafing. One of them decides to stick to your leg, and that can be a problem. Sometimes you need a day off after a tough run on the treadmill because your legs are raw from rubbing together because of your gigantic
balls.
Well, let me tell you, Stageman Underwear has you covered. Stageman Underwear was designed with your giant
Golden Globes
specifically in mind. This patented design comes with a special pouch exactly for your dangler and balloons so that they do not chafe while you're on the treadmill, so they do not get too moist on a hot and humid desert day. I promise you, as somebody who has personally tested these exact Stage Man underwear, that once you put these things on and you have a go on the workout, you wrestle on the mat if you're into jiu-jitsu, you will never go back to another pair of regular underwear ever. The difference made by Stage Man, the comfort level that I enjoyed, is something nothing short of magical.
Ball security is important in football and basketball. Why should it be any different for you? Take care of that treasure trunk and that care package and give it the respect it deserves.
When you check out, use promo code PUB for a 10% discount and give your balls the best pair of underwear, the most level of comfort they have ever enjoyed.
Beautiful. Thank you, Clint. Hopefully that helped fix the audio problems. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but hey, if it's fixed, let's hope for the best here. Let's bring in our next guest. He's been waiting patiently, and I appreciate him for waiting so patiently. Let's get into the MLB with our next guest, the Big Ragu in the joint. Let's see it, Big Ragu. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How the fuck do we follow that commercial? I'm just sitting there playing with my balls, I guess, waiting on a pair of underwear.
Yeah, you should be. Ragu. They should be nice and clean with our guys at Manscaped. Use promo code Manscaped.
That was a great commercial. Great promo there, guys.
Yeah, shout out to my man Clint for thinking of it. That was his brain and Victor's editing. So shout out to you guys, of course. And let me know if in the chat we are back to normal. I saw a lot of people saying we were back during the commercial, but want to make sure. But as long as we're rolling right now, we are fantastic. Ragoo, how's your baseball season been so far?
It's kind of been up and down, more a little bit down, more down of late. But I notice you're still keeping them units up. Kudos to you. Great job doing that. Because baseball, we know it's a grind, and you're going to get those lulls, you're going to get the streaks, and I'm kind of not hitting the wall, but I'm ready to get back on track.
Yeah, I've hit my wall personally. I've hit a disaster spot for me, Big Ragu. And I've called in the big guns, and I called you here to get me started here. But let's get into a little say hey plays action, Big Ragu. We are on officially now, Big Ragu. You won't believe this. We're getting close to your age, Big Ragu, because this is the age you exhume. We're going say hey plays 30. Say hey plays 36 in the joint. Yes, that record up there is correct. We have taken a fall. We're still up 12 units on the year, but we're shaky right now, Ragoo, and I need some help. And I'm excited you're on, and we're gonna get right into the card here because it's a short one, but I think there are some plays to be made here. First game on the docket, Mets Nationals for us here. Taijuan Walker back on the bump versus Yoan Adon. And I was on the Mets run line last night, and Miguel just blew up for the first time this season. It looked rough, and I'll admit I'll need to watch his next start, maybe to bet on him again. We'll see when that day comes, but I was pretty surprised by it. Walker has had 3 starts this year. Remember, he had 1 start. He went on the injured list for a little bit, got his shoulder figured out. Came back, had 2 back-to-back starts against the Phillies. All 3 of his starts actually this year was against the Phillies, and it was high tide that he got touched up in one of them. Last time at the Phillies was that time. 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, only 2 of them, I should say 7 runs and then 2 home runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks there. So not the best start for Walker coming out here, and kind of pretty predictable spot when you keep seeing the same team over and over again. He went home for the Phillies, 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, a K, and 2 walks there. Yoan Adon on the other side, 1-5 this year. He kind of a tough luck at some point when you're on the Nationals. He's not pitching terribly. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 5 walks. At the Giants, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks. And versus the Giants at home, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 Ks, and 1 walk. Control is the issue for Yoan. And honestly, Big Ragu, when I leaned this, and when I first saw this, I leaned over. I have not made any official plays. Wanted to talk it out with everyone. Last night, I believe, or I should say earlier today, it was at an 8.5. Now we got a 9 at even money for us, Ragu. What about you? What do you have on this game?
That was, when you like you talk about Walker, tough out, especially coming off a little bit of an injury and then facing that same team twice. And we know Philly can smash. So it's tough ass for Walker. So his numbers are probably inflated because of those reasons. And odd on, man, I mean, you just can't walk guys in the major leagues and expect not to have any runs put up on you. So walks always come back to get you, errors especially. Walks and errors are the two biggest things. And he does have some control issues. And that was my first look, was the over also, to be honest with you. And I usually don't go up the ladder. When I say go up the ladder, I'm talking laying the bigger juice. I know the Mets are, I think they're minus 150. Is that the current number on the game? What's the numbers on the game right now with the run line and the Mets?
I've got Mets run line at even money, and then reverse run line for the Nationals at minus 120.
120, okay. But anyways, to answer your question, I thought the over was a pretty decent look here, but I was trying to figure out a way to bet the Mets here because this is the rubber game. They haven't scored more than 4 runs. And I think this is a game where the Mets could to kind of get to 8 on and put some strong crooked numbers up on the board here. My book had the Mets team total 4.5 at minus 130. I think that's a good look. That's about the limit that I like to be laying juice for that type of number. I didn't want to lay the 150 on the Mets, even though it's probably a good positive EV look. But I think the Mets will get here. I think the Mets will score some runs, and I didn't want to trust Walker completely, but I did trust the Mets bats against 8 on. So my look is team total over 4.5 runs for New York Mets.
Do you want to make that official, Ragoo?
Yeah, I'll make that official. And I do look. I lean the over hard too. That was my first initial look was the over because of the fact that I think 8 on to get touched, but I didn't trust Walker either at the same time. And I think at Shea, their splits. The Mets splits are pretty even at home and on the road. And Washington's actually a little bit better on the road than they are at home. So that was my initial look. But I'm gonna roll with the Mets over 4.5 minus 130.
I like that look. I like the over as well, like you said. Let's go to the chat. Shout out to you guys, the Big Ragu in here, Roger that, Nasty Nate in here, Jay Peasy and Kyle Hanley and both liking the A's, but that sweet, sweet taint on the Detroit Tigers today. Let's give a quick shout out to our guy Matty Ice and the Taint play of the day. We will talk further about that game when we get there, but that is exciting. Matty Ice and Taint hot coming off a win yesterday on the Giants Rockies over. Andrel, I bet say here. I'm not sure. Nat's taking a shot with Nats plus 1.5. Nasty Nate saying Ragoo over here. Jake Burns saying first 5 is 7. Is that correct? First 5 team total is 7? No, I've got a first 5 team total is a 4.5, my guy. I don't know what you're looking at. I'm sorry. Nate. No, Billy Sfujik said over 7 here. I got you. That's why. It makes sense. That's hilarious. But let's keep it moving here, Mr. Ragoo here. By the way, Nasty Nate, Nutflush Allen in here. I think if you bet all 3 overs in the game, you'll come out a winner in the early game. So not bagged there, Nasty Nate. Let's talk about that Oakland A's Tigers game right now. Bo Brisky on the bump versus James Caprillion and the Oakland A's. And I do like James Caprillion. He's come back. I thought he would struggle his first time out, and he did. 2 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks versus the Guardians. But he came out and pitched pretty well against the Minnesota Twins, at the Minnesota Twins, too. 5 2/3, 3 hits, only 1 earned run, 7 Ks, and 2 walks. Walks were the big issue with Caprillion when I was worried about him. His rehab numbers, he was walking a lot of dudes. He walked a lot of dudes. He started the Cleveland game, but he turned it around kind of at Minnesota. 5 2/3 with only 2 walks is a lot better than 2 innings with 4 walks. Let me tell you that. 7 Ks, not bad either. He's a good pitcher, but as you guys heard, Matty Ice, money line on those Detroit Tigers. And Brisky's been pretty good. You look at his numbers and you would be surprised that Bo Brisky is making these numbers, especially with his opponents. At the Houston Astros, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs off 2 home runs, 3 Ks, 3 walks. At the Dodgers, 5 innings, 3 hits, only one earned run off a home run that day, 3 Ks, 2 walks. And versus the Colorado Rockies at home, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs off 2 home runs, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. Point is, if Bo can keep it in the yard, then he's going to have a good day. And he's done so pretty effectively. I would say 3 earned runs max is a good start for a starter. You want more than 5 innings ideally, but maybe they're keeping him on a little bit of a leash here. So I have nothing on this game, and we can talk about both these offenses are two the worst, I should say, against righties these last 2 weeks. Only a 49 weighted runs created plus for the A's and a 56 weighted runs created plus for the Detroit Tigers. And let's remember, 100 is average in weighted runs created plus. So 50% below average are both these teams' last 2 weeks against righties. So lean under here, I guess, and that seems pretty weird to say, but I also last night wrote down that I would lean the A's as well here, Big Ragu. What do you have here?
Man, we must have some mental telepathy going on right now with our leans, guy. I'm telling you. My first look here was leaning towards the A's on the money line, but that Matty Ice, that tainted. I don't like going up against the taint, and like I say, it's just a lean, and same thing with the under too. I was leaning the under because the A's in the last 2 games they only have given up one run. And the Tigers, they're not setting the world on fire with their bats either. They're not having a lot of success scoring runs. But if anything, with that taint, if the Tigers are going to probably win this game, I don't think it's going to be in a barn burner. I think even though you have 2 guys that are, probably not at the top of the tier with the ERA and having runs, giving up against them. I think it's probably more of a spot play for Detroit, if anything, because of the fact that, what the A's have been doing. And, they have been picked to be the seller team. And I did, like I said, I hate to keep bringing it up, but I did get on the A's with the over, like the short 70s number for the year. And this is probably not a good travel spot for them either. But I think going home, when they get home for the game next. Are they on? Let me ask you this: Are the A's playing at home tomorrow? Are they playing on the road still?
Let me look that up for you real quick. And by the way, an important absentee from this game, Javi Baez is not playing today. It's just a scheduled day off for him. So no injury or anything like that. But yes, and Big Ragu, to answer your question, they are at home tomorrow. They are at home versus the Angels, and they have a doubleheader on Saturday. So they've got the Angels 4 this coming up. But yeah, they're traveling after this.
Yeah. Okay. So
and Matty Ice is saying, why would the Tigers be minus 125 against anyone? They're dropping. Obviously, FanDuel apparently has it at minus 118. Bovada at minus 120. Maybe the best option here. Maybe you wait. If you're gonna bet the Tigers, just wait. See that line keep on dropping and take them, because I can understand for sure, like travel day. They want to get out of there. The only issue is no Javi Baez for me, but and I would guess I'd lean under in Tigers at the end of the day. That's just
that wouldn't be my look. I like that look because of both. Like I say, A's they haven't been giving up a lot of runs, and the Tigers bats are a little bit struggling. But I say not to go up against the taint. But if if the Tigers are going to win this game, it's got like a 3-2, 4-3 type of feel at the max. I would maybe look at a first 5 under possibly too. Even though with those higher ERA pitchers, that would be my lean. I wouldn't go against the taint, and I would lean under in this spot here.
Yeah. I can't also go against taint. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. Let's keep it moving here. A lot of talk back and forth about that game, and I think it's a fascinating game for sure. Never fade Matty Ice with a open and confident heart in you guys. I'm trusting you there. Baltimore Orioles versus the Cardinals here. A quick little breakdown here because I don't have a pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles yet, and neither did my guy Victor, as you guys can see making the graphics. Right now, I'm looking on Bovada, and we're seeing 2 pitching changes, actually. We've got 2 pitching changes, so we don't even have Jordan Hicks on the mound anymore for the St. Louis Cardinals. We've got Brian Baker for the Baltimore Orioles versus Steven Matz. So let me pull up some Brian Baker stats real fast, because we all kind of know who Steven Matz is, a lefty who can either be lights out one day or just blow up right in your face another day. And it's been more blow up recently. So let's talk about our man Brian Baker. And it's a bullpen day for these Orioles because he has not started a game this year. And all of his starts have been basically 1 inning. He goes 2.2 innings against the Twins. Nothing happened there. A third of an inning against the Twins again. He gave up an earned run, and a full inning against the Red Sox. 1 strikeout, no hits there. So Brian Baker, we're getting a bullpen day from the Orioles. Steven Matz on the other side. Like I said, we kind of already know what we're getting from him. And the books right now on Bovada are giving a minus 220 for these Cardinals, minus 105 on the run line, plus 1.5 for the Baltimore Orioles is minus 115. And the total is sitting at 8.5 Ragoo. So obviously a lot of changes here right at the last minute. Do you have anything on this one?
No, I didn't get to really sit down and cap, because of the fact that, with the Baltimore pitchers. But I can tell you this. Both of these teams have fucking cost me some units this year. St. Louis is my nemesis. I've mentioned that a couple of times this year. But Baltimore is a team that I like to get involved at Camden. Maybe not so much at the road. I did take a stab with them last night on Twitter. It was one of the plays I tweeted out with the O's last night. I figured, they put up some big numbers, St. Louis, and then last night they put up big numbers. St. Louis is one of those teams, man, I just can't fucking figure out. I just have hard luck with them. But I was totally off of this game, and just for show purposes, I wanted to cap the game, but without the pitchers, I didn't do a lot of work into this game. So sorry, Chad, I don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of either. Constantly saying the balls will fly out. And by the way, Keegan Ayton listed as the primary for Baltimore after their starter, Brian Baker. Jeffrey Moore, what'd you miss? Not much. We went over the NHL already, went over 1 or 2 baseball games. We'll go over everything at the end of the show. So stick around and you'll get all the plays too. But yeah, I think I would lean over here. Keegan Ayton, not a pitcher that I looked to back. Steven Matt's been blowing up. Obviously, he at home will probably pitch better, but yeah, nothing for me here. And Pujols is at first today. Enough flush out looking at Baltimore team total as well. And yeah, I said Brian Bacon. I don't know. I'm hungry a little bit, so I've got some food on my mind, I guess. Next game on the docket here, Houston versus Minnesota. And we're actually getting 2 of these games. And I need to actually look on Bovada. I'll doubt that they will. They're not going to put out a live line or whatever for the 8-1 game, because they're going to finish that game and then play this game, which is a new rule actually in baseball. Last year they would have just canceled and reset and played the first game over again, I believe, or it might be the other way. Someone double check me on that, but I think that's going to be an interesting time, and they'll play this game right after. Third, I think they're in the 8th inning of that game too, 7th inning. So I think it's 8-1 too. I think also, so it's not even a close game. I think that's pretty funny.
I think it was 5-1 top of the 4th, wasn't it?
Let's look, because I don't know what it was. I might have just been looking at the Orioles game that I'm thinking it was. Yeah, it's 5-1 top of the 4th. You're right. I think what a weird rule we've got now in baseball that we're going to pick up games now, but it makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. Luis Garcia, Josh Winder on the bump here, and after Winder's first start, my antennas were raised. I was like, oh, wait a second. Who is this guy? And then I took a long watch at his second start versus Oakland, and he dominated, and he looked fantastic. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, not earned, 8 Ks, 0 walks. In his first start against the Tampa Bay Rays, at the Tampa Bay Rays, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned run, 7 Ks, 1 walk there. Luis Garcia on the other side, he is a bet-on pitcher for me, but I've said it I don't know how many times with the Astros pitchers. I want to bet them primarily at home, and I'm going to pull up Luis Garcia's career home road splits to just make me feel a little better, I guess. Well, they're getting closer now. Early on in his career, he had home road splits that are more dramatic, but he's getting better, obviously. 99 innings at home, a 3.18, and 97 on the road, a 3.70. So they're getting better. Obviously, does struggle a little bit more at home or on the road. And that's pretty typical for all pitchers. Both these offenses are performing well. Right now, the Twins are 14th, a little above average, 106 against righties, 106 weighted run created plus against righties. And right now, the Houston Astros bats have figured it out. It seems like obviously Jose Altuve coming in the lineup helped out a lot, gave them more length and all that stuff. Sixth, 124 weighted runs created plus against the Twins or against righties here. So initially, I mean, I would lean towards the first 5 under here as well. The total drop from 8.5 to 8, and the first 5 is a 4 minus 110. I would lean towards the under here, but like I've said, it seems like the last couple of days have just been overfest. Balls have been flying out of the parks again. Hitters maybe making the adjustments and finally hitting. So I didn't pull the trigger here, Ragoo, but I do want to take the first 5 under here, minus 110.
Yeah, we talked about those short numbers. we talked about those 7.5s that sooner or later that the fuckers are going to come up and fucking, bite you right in the ass. But I think this is one of those games here, with Winder and Garcia. We knew that, Houston was going to start, putting some W's up, once they started hitting the ball, because that pitching staff, the 1, 2, 3 guys are phenomenal in my book. And Winder, I love what the GM has done up in Minnesota with that squad, up there. They kind of reconstructed, and they're viable. I mean, they're sitting at the top of the lead up at the Central, so they're well deserved. But I tend, like I said, the antennas are up for me too. You and I on the same wavelength. I first thought the first 5 under, but then I looked at the game was 8.5, and I'm like, you know what? Both of these bullpens, like Minnesota's got like a number 4 bullpen, and Houston top 10. So I see some value in the full game under here, long term. I think this is going to be like a 1-run type of game. I don't see an over. I just think, both bullpens are strong. Both starting pitchers are strong. And yeah, they are hitting the ball very well, but I think this is going to be a pitcher's type of dual game. And I'm on the full game under here, 8.5.
Yeah, you can get the 8 right now at basically even money, or the 8.5 at minus 120.
Yeah, I'll do the minus 120.
Yeah, I think I will as well. I think I'm going to take the 8.5 at minus 120 for me. If you guys in the chat obviously can shop around for my guy, Big Ragu, and let's try to get him a better line than that. But I'm right there with you, Ragoo. I'll write it down for us as well. The total game under, full game under for us here. Houston Astros, Minnesota Twins.
And then don't forget, you got Correa is down, right? He's got a bruised middle finger, and Buxton, he had a little hip injury, so who knows how up to par he is too. So that affects a little bit of the offensive look there too.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I'm trying to refresh the roto wires, but no confirmed lineups yet. They have Buxton in, but obviously they're not confirmed. So they don't really
he'll be
know.
in. He'll be playing, but if he'll be 100%, that's another story.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one. Let's look at the chat here. Jedi for Life has the under 8 at minus 105, or I guess that might be plus 105. Buxton is back, Anthony says. Let's see. Eric Jones said, had the under last night. Glad it got canceled. That's funny. Eric Jones, let us know. I'm pretty sure it probably did get voided, but if your tickets are for the under, did it still count for the game carried over to today since they're just picking it up? I assume they would get voided, but maybe the rule changes because of how baseball operates. I'm not sure. Let me know on that. Like you said, I'm glad it got under canceled for you at least there. Cashman said he bet the under, first 5 under, 4.5 at minus 125 at Bet MGM. Mike M said had first 5. Twins yesterday loved the canceled bet. Thanks for the rain out. So I guess it does get canceled out. I think that's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. So the vets got voided for some. You guys are saying so good. And by the way, Red Girl, Big Ragu, right there with you. Houston first 5 under, 4.5 to slap that ass. Play of the day. Shout out to Red Girl. I'm going to write that. Slap that ass.
I can't wait to see that graphic when it comes out.
Yeah, I assume that it will be a favorite for a lot of people.
You remember the song by Two Live Crew, Shake That Ass, Bitch? And let me see what you got?
Well, I actually do know that song just because shout out to the Boondocks. I remember the Boondocks playing that song a lot. And maybe we'll reach out to Two Live Crew and see if we'll get some clearance for that song. That's hilarious. Let's talk about this next game. The Cincinnati Reds versus the Pittsburgh Pirates here. True bum fight here. True bum fight like we mentioned. Oh, man, the pitchers here are tough too. Connor Overton versus JT Brubaker. Not a pitching matchup that I'm tuning my TV to watch. Overton has looked okay this year. Looked good, I should say. 5 2/3 or 5 1/3, 6 innings or 6 hits, I should say. 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, no walks. 5 1/3, 3 hits, an earned run, 3 Ks, 2 walks at Colorado for Overton in his 2 starts. Brubaker, he started off absolute garbage. I thought, okay, well, this is the fall of JT Brubaker is here. And now his last 3 starts at Cincinnati Reds. And we'll point this out. Both these pitchers coming off facing these teams again. At the Reds, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks, 2 walks. And Overton, like I mentioned earlier, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks versus Pittsburgh. This feels like this game has overwritten all over it, honestly. Now I'm looking at it. I don't expect either of these pitchers to go out and perform well again. And both of these offenses, you'd be shocked to see they're both performing well these last 2 weeks. 13th are the Cincinnati Reds against righties, 113 weighted runs created plus, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are 106 weighted runs created plus. That's good for 16th. So, Ragoo, I'm going to move on this over here. I'm going to look at the number right now on our friends at Bovada, and I'm going to move on this full game over. What about you, Ragoo?
I was thinking the same thing, but I look at the run differential for both of these teams. Like Cincinnati's like -72 and Pittsburgh's at 49. But like you said, bum fight, and with the guys that are on the bump running, last weekend they matched up, and Pittsburgh, Cincinnati's got their 7 wins, and 2 of them came last weekend against this Pirate squad here. So I know usually when I get 2 bums, I like to get on a dog, and it's probably something I'm not running to the window with, but I might take a small swing with the Reds here at a plus price. I don't think Pittsburgh's a big deserving favorite, and I think Overton's probably coming to a little better pitching style than Brubaker's at right now. So I would lean towards Overton. I would lean Reds, but I probably won't get to the window. But if I do, it's going to be with the Reds and like you said, the over. So those are 2 leans, but not official plays.
Okay, beautiful. I just moved on the over 8 at -125 myself. Not my favorite line, obviously, but I do think we get some scoring here. And if you want to take like an 8.5 and cut down the juice, I definitely wouldn't hate that. Right now on Bovada, just to look and see for my curiosity's sake, you can get an 8.5 over at +105. So honestly, I should have bet that, but we will move on and let's keep the show rolling here. We got a good pace, Ragoo. Can't make that man Dutch wait. That's what I've learned about that man Dutch.
Dutch has got units to give out.
Yes, Dutch has got units to give out, and he does not like to be kept waiting. We'll keep it moving. Shout out to my man Dutch. He's going to be on the NBA here. We've got 2 more games to talk about here. Kansas City Royals, the Rangers here of Texas. John Hazley on the bump for Royals, while we have my man Taylor Hearn for the Rangers here. Now, John Hazley, let's talk about him. In 2022, his AAA numbers. He's 1-0 with a 4.44 ERA, 3.86 WHIP, 30 Ks to 4 walks. Really impressive there. Right now in the MLB, last year he went 1-1 with 4.91, 6.03 ERA, and that was in 14 innings pitched with 6 Ks and 3 walks there. So he has had his experience. He went up this year, seemingly made some adjustments. You obviously see the K to walks a lot better from last year. Was 6 Ks, 3 walks. So I think I would honestly lean towards the Royals here, and that's weird to say. Taylor Hearn, a crafty lefty, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks versus the Braves. Versus the Astros, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 Ks, a walk. And at the Seattle Mariners, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, 4 Ks, 4 walks for Hernsey. So I think I'm leaning towards the Royals here, maybe towards another under as well, because 25th are the Rangers against righties, an 83 weighted runs created plus, with an 87 on the other side for the Royals for against lefties, 21st in the league, that is. So I would lean under here, but I'm not too confident with betting unders with a guy I don't know on the mound with John Hazley. Ragoo, what about you? Anything here?
This is usually a bet on spot for the opposite team, but both of these offenses are struggling, like 25th and 26th. And I don't like betting minor leagues, but I'm going to make an exception later on in the show. I'll tell you why. But this is a pass for me. I would have to lean Rangers or pass. And then maybe I don't like getting involved in unders with first-time starters coming out. AAA, he's a good AAA prospect for the Royals, and maybe Ron could elaborate for us on this game a little bit if he's in the chat. I don't know if he is or not, but I'm passing this game totally. I would lean towards the over. I would lean Rangers and over if anything, but I'll pass.
Okay. And by the way, we have 2 more games left. I almost forgot a game, but my man Victor, or I guess StreamYard might have made. So let's get into this next game here. The Yankees versus the White Sox here. Luis Gil on the mound versus Dylan Cease. I like Gil. I like you, Luis Gil here. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, or 3 runs, 2 earned, I should say. 6 Ks, 4 walks versus the Minnesota Twins. 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 8 Ks and a walk, and 3 1/3, 1 hit ball, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 7 walks for Gil there. On the other side, we've got Dylan Cease, who a lot of people fancy to win the Cy Young this year. A lot of people think that he can go out there and shove. He dominated the Red Sox, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 3 walks for him. Versus the Angels, 7 innings of 1 hit ball, no earned runs, 11 Ks. And versus the Royals, who we just mentioned, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. So pretty surprising that the Royals would be the one making the damage off of him there. 9 Ks, 3 walks there. I think this is an obvious underlook as well. You've got the Yankees' high-powered offense right now against righties. They're third, 129 weighted runs created plus against a great pitcher who you think can shut them down. And I would say an underrated pitcher against an offense who is 20th right now against righties, and an offense that has scared us the whole year in the White Sox. So I think this would be another underlook for me, but I have nothing on this yet. Ragoo, wanted to hear what you thought about this game. This is obviously one of your squads here.
Yeah, isn't this his first start this season?
Let me see here because yes, those are 2021 stats.
Yeah.
So I read 2021 stats. My bad. So yes, you're right.
That's right. No, we have to have some kind of data to kind of go on, whether it's AAA or last year.
And I'll tell you, his AAA stats have been ugly this year. I'm looking at them right now. 0-3 with a 9.35 ERA, and he has a 6 FIP, but that's in 17 innings this year in AAA. So that's rough. That is rough. A 13 K per 9, 25 strikeouts, 12 walks. But yeah, so shout out to him. But that's a tough start in AAA. But I still do like Gil. I think he is.
Yeah, I like him. I got firsthand look at him. I went to that Toronto Yankees. I think it was next to the last game for the spring training. And I got to see him pitch down there against the full squad of Toronto, and he did pretty well. He's got good stuff. He's got a nice fastball. And I know the White Sox, they can be spotty hitting the ball. Their offense has been shaky at best of late, and the Yankees are red hot. Like 15 out of 17, a ton of offense. Cease, they could hit anybody. The Yanks, and I'm not being a homer here. They're just red hot right now, and I think this is probably why Boone wants to get this kid involved in the lineup. Boone seems pretty confident in him. He thinks he can get a lot of pitches out of his kid. So I would look to get involved maybe in the first 5 with the Yanks at a plus price. And it's not every day you're going to get the Yankees at a plus price. So I think we get a little bit of value there. I mean, the pitching, with this kid coming in, Cease, he's pretty good, 3-1. But I think the Yankee bats are hot right now. And they can hit anybody in the league. So. And I know they can go out and fire, a bunch of big numbers, but then, they get a game where they get a 1-0 win. I don't know if we see that type of game here, but we might not. But I'm just on a value play for the Yanks. For me, red hot team with the big bats. And anytime, I'm getting a plus number, so I'm getting to the window with the Yankees on the full game. The Yankees bullpen is strong. Give me the Yanks plus.
Yeah, I think I would lean towards the Yankees too. Anthony taking the Yankees -4.5. Not surprising there, but my guy Anthony.
Yeah, I was looking at a reverse run line with the Yankees too. I think it was like plus 200 on a -1.5 for the Yanks, if I'm not mistaken. So I might get to the ones with that. Look on Twitter for that. That's a possibility too.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I mean, I do think I would lean towards the Yankees winning this game. I know Cease has been great this year, but I mean, I didn't pick him to win the Cy Young this year. I picked Lucas Giolito.
Giolito, yeah.
Cy Young in his rotation. I thought both are fantastic. I just think Giolito's better, to be honest. So and Cease has been great this year, but a lot of people sit like the Yankees today too. Professor Chris saying I hate the Yankees, but I'm on them too. If let me see, Anthony, if Ragoo bet the Yanks like Jose bet the Red Sox, he'd be rich. That is.
Well,
that is
you know what? I haven't got to as many games as the Yanks won this year. I haven't got to the window because I'm not a big. I don't like laying the big numbers, man. It's a grind. You know, I told you early on in the year the Dodgers won 106 fucking games last year, and you still lost money on them if you bet them every game on the money line. So.
Yeah, and by the way, Con Henley asking about Heel getting ripped in AAA. Yeah, he's getting crushed in AAA this year for some reason, but last year he pitched well in the majors. So maybe just working on some kinks. I'm not sure. So this will be an interesting start for sure.
It will.
If the Yankees get another good starter, I will not be pleased. I will not be pleased at all. So let's break into our last game here. No graphics for this last one. Phillies versus the Dodgers. Zach Wheeler versus Tyler Anderson. And I wrote here, Philadelphia, or not Philadelphia, excuse me, the Dodgers in some way. I want the Dodgers in some way or form here today. And I think I'm going to take their team total over. Zach Wheeler coming off of a COVID break. And let's just talk about Zach Wheeler's season to start off with. He doesn't throw against any opponents in spring training. No opposition opponents to spring training. His first start of the year was his first time seeing opponents, and he struggled. He struggles. He's figured it out these last 3 starts now. Last start against the Rangers, 7 2/3, 6 hits, no runs, 7 Ks. Versus the Rockies, 6 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, 7 Ks, 4 walks. And versus the Milwaukee Brewers, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 5 Ks, no walks. So seems like he's figured that out. But all those 3 starts were on the road. He's coming off a COVID break. And the Phillies right now are dead last against lefties. 31 weighted runs created plus. Martin Perez, the vaunted Martin Perez, who I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to get shut out by Martin Perez anymore, but they shut him out. He dominated them, and they just can't hit lefties right now these last 2 weeks. So I wanted the Dodgers in some form or fashion here, Ragoo. Whether that be the team total over right now, I'm looking at a 4 at -115, at 4.5 at +115, or the first 5 here -0.5 at +110. I think the Dodgers go out here and touch Zach Wheeler. The Dodgers offense, just to mention it, against righties, 17th against righties, 103 weighted runs created plus. So doing worse than they're expected, but the Dodgers got the names in that lineup to immediately break out of that. You know, I trust Freddie, Trey, Muncy. I trust them all. So I want to take the Dodgers here, and I'm going to find out a way to take them here in a second. I want to hear your breakdown on this one, Ragoo.
Yeah, I love that team total overplay. I think the Dodgers are going to smash this guy today. That's probably I was looking, and I usually don't bet home teams on the run line, but I wanted to get involved with that too. But I said, you know what, this game has the feel of the Met game to me, with against the Nationals. You know, the same type of game, but the Dodgers, you know, they lost that small short series at Pittsburgh, you know, 2 games to 1, and with that exit game and everything. So that basically told me they want to get home. They want to fucking take care of business. Get on the fucking Dodgers team total over today, right now.
I'm a shout out to Ski Profit. I'm going to take the ski ladder here.
The ski ladder.
I'm going to take the Dodgers team total over 4 at -115, and I'm going to take them over 4.5 at +115. And quite frankly, Ragoo, I kind of want to take them over 5 at +150. But just how poor I've been rolling, I'm only going to stick to those 2. So I'll take the 4 at -115 and the 4.5 at +115. So there we go. Ragoo, anything for you on that game?
Yeah, make that official for me over the 4.5 with your
All
price.
right. All right. So we've got the over 4.5. Let me see, a plus 115. Not applicable. You did not miss the Seattle Baltimore, or you did miss the St. Louis Baltimore game. We talked about the pitching changes there. Steven Matz versus my man Brian Baker, and aka Brian Bacon. No play for us. Basically, we were leaning towards the overs initially.
Hey, what did you get me on the Yankee money line? Did you make that official for me?
Oh, I can. I'll make that official for you right now. You're on the Yankees money line as well.
Yeah.
All right. What number did you get for that one?
Well, I was going to use whatever the best number you can get for me.
All right, chat. Let us know what number you can get, Ragoo. I'm looking at Yankees money line right now at plus 126.
Yeah.
But let us know if you guys see anything better out there, and we will write that down.
125. So I'm good with that. Whatever the 125, 126, I'm good with that.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see it here. I've got 4 plays on the docket now. I am excited about it. Ragoo, you also have 4 plays on this.
Sir.
So I'm excited to hear this here. Let me write these down real fast. And team total over 4.5. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So let's go. Let's run through these MLB bets here. And then we'll get my man Dutch Boy Fresh to join the program for the association. Ragoo, so far for you, I've got 4 plays. The New York Mets team total over 4.5 at minus 130. Houston, Minnesota under 8.5 at minus 120. The Dodgers team total over 4.5 at plus 115. And the Yankees money line at plus 126 for you, Ragoo.
That's it, brother. Right on. Getting
Beautiful.
good vibes from you today, Jose. Good vibes, my man.
We need
our antennas are up together on a lot of shit, so we're gonna cash big today. Trust me.
We fucking need it, Ragoo. We need it bad today. We need it that bad. I can't wait. Thank you very much, Ragoo. I appreciate you for joining us.
You too, brother.
And at Ragoo, I cannot wait for you to join me on Say Hey Plays next time out.
Just let me know. Hey, I love the fucking suit. I love the bar mitzvah look. Keep cashing them tickets, brother. Keep cashing them motherfuckers. Let's fucking go.
Ragoo. Thank you, Ragoo. I appreciate you, my man. The bar mitzvah look is looking nice today. I almost top button today, but I wasn't feeling too giant kind. And I also was thinking about wearing a bow tie today, but maybe that's a Friday. Okay, and maybe we'll go bow tie Friday. Who knows? All right, so I'll give everyone a quick recap of what we got on the show so far before we get into Dutch Boy Fresh and the NBA. So let's start with Mr. Gogster real quick. Mr. Gogster for the NHL is on the Blues money line at minus 104. Edmonton, LA Kings over 6.5 at minus 102. And the Big Ragu, his 4 plays. The New York Mets team total over, like I just mentioned, over 4.5 minus 130. Houston, Minnesota under 8.5 at minus 120. The Dodgers team total over 4.5 at plus 115. And the New York money line, the New York Yankees money line. So Ragu taking both New York teams today. That's very funny. At plus 126 for him. All righty. So let's talk about the association, the National Basketball Association. And I think this next guest of mine, I think he would not do the show with me if it weren't for Jimmy the Bag personally asking him to do it. I'm excited to talk about ball with him. I didn't even prepare for this basketball. I took so much time on the NFL or the NHL. I'm going to close the iPad right here. I just can't wait. We're just talking ball with my man, Dutch Boy Fresh.
My man, how we doing?
Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, I love that you've joined me today. I'm sure you are just as excited about this appearance on the show as I am. Dutch, how are you doing?
It's funny you say that, Jose. It is funny you say that because I was thinking, like, is this motherfucker serious? I really got to, but Jimmy asked, I'll go ahead and fuck around. I'll do it for you. Hey, but I appreciate the blazer at least, but
yeah,
I was hoping you weren't going to come on here and act like you know what you was talking about the NBA.
No, of course not, Dutch. I even wore some shoe heat for you too. Shout out to Preston. We'll put these on the camera right now. I wore some shoe heat for you too, Dutch. I tried to look nice for you. You can't see my lower half, but I knew you would respect the shoe heat anyways.
Yeah, you already know it's much love, man. It's much love, Jose. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Way to see my man. Good to see my man Doc go in. Look like y'all's about to hit the window with some baseball. Sam Comer, I see you, my dude. Danny Lopez, my man. Everybody in the chat, be sure to hit the like button for little Hey Jose. Doing a great job. Hey, in real talk, my man, I like the pace. Very brisk pace. Jimmy better watch out. He might want to take a little note on that from you, my man. Very brisk pace. I like you keeping it moving, my guy. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Dutch. I appreciate that you appreciate my pace. Let me tell you, the show goes by quicker when you don't have anything to say about games in the basketball or the hockey. So let me tell you that. And we will talk about this basketball here because I'm excited about this series, Dutch. I think these 76ers are fucked. I think they are done here. And I want them to win, Dutch. I'm a Celtics fan, as you know. And I would love to play the 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals. But the Celtics have to get there first, obviously. But I would love for the 76ers to win this series. But it looks like they are cooked. Joel Embiid looked like half a man last time out. He got hit in the face, and then after that, it was kind of just like groggy. He got his thumb injury, concussion, broken face. He's got taken an ass whooping, and the Heat have just brought on waves and waves of dudes. Jimmy Butler did his thing, and I am shocked to see that these 76ers are favored here. And, it makes sense at home, but I would lean towards the Heat. First, a reaction for me, Dutch. What do you have on this game?
Well, I expected you to say that, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, Jose, I expected you to say that bullshit. But hey, man, that's what I want everybody to think. The Heat's gonna be easy money tonight. I said it on my show, bro. You're going back to Miami, man. We're going back to South Beach for Game 7, and then you could talk your shit about the Heat and all that shit you just said about Embiid and the Sixers. But tonight, Big Embiid gonna get off, bro. Harden gonna have a decent game. Look for Maxey to really get back into the rhythm. Now, he had a horrible game, nine points, 2 of 10 from the field there in Miami, minus 25, average 19 points at home. Really, they have nothing for him. They're kind of out of sync. Look for him to play a little bit better. Man, and imagine this, Jose. James Harden plays somewhere better than South Beach, and that's right there in Philly. He plays a little better at home. He's probably going out doing his thing when he hits Miami, to be quite honest with you, my guy. He's averaging 24 in Philly, 16 points in South Beach. So, James, just give me 20, 10. Don't turn the motherfucking ball over. Just, show up, play solid basketball. But really, it's going to come down to Joel Embiid, man. He had a horrible game, 17-5, minus 29. Even got you, throwing little low blows at him, my man. So look for Embiid to go probably 35-plus tonight. I'm not endorsing any props, anything like that. If you want to bet Embiid, bet the over on the prop. But I'm all over Philly here. It's clear, man. They handle business at the house. Miami has not looked like the same team outside of Miami, my guy. Now the Heat are 0-5 ATS last 5 playoff games as an underdog. Like I mentioned, when they leave Miami, they haven't looked the same. It's mainly from deep. They shot 21% in Philly in games 3 and 4, shooting 37% at the house. That's a big difference. I know you're not good with numbers, but I know you could tell that's a big difference there, bro. So they shoot horrible in Philly. Look for the Sixers role players to play a lot better. We talked about Maxey, talked about Harden, but look for Tobias Harris to get it going. Look for Korsma, even if he could get some things going off the bench. This boy Reed is playing good minutes as well. It's going to be a full team effort led by obviously Joel Embiid. The Sixers shot 48% at the house. Now they actually, like I mentioned, they play a little bit better basketball at the house and have not been playing good in Miami. They're shooting 46% from 3 at the house in game 3 and 4, 23% in Miami. So really what this comes down to me, bro, is they're going to shoot the 3 a lot better. As we've seen the home teams have done, it's kind of carried on. Like Boston kind of did until the fucking fourth quarter there. How sickening was that, bro? They're minus fucking 700 at a point, up 14 points, and they fucking choked that shit off. I'm sorry. I get off topic here, but that shit had me waking up salty as a motherfucker. I won't lie to you. But in short, my guy, Jose, I expect the Sixers to win game 6 and do what the fuck they do on the road and give it the fuck away. Probably get run the fuck off the court in South Beach. But tonight, Look for Joel Embiid to have a big game. Look for James Harden to have a little bit of game 4. Look a little bit more like game 4. Maxey, Tobias, and the boys to do enough. Sixers win this game by 6 minimum. Go ahead and lay it at 2.5 if you like. I found value at -135 with the Sixers. I'm not mad at that play.
Sixers play, and it makes sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. James Harden can.
Shinch.
Yeah, you know me. I'm Southern here, Dutch. James Harden. I also, I've been to Miami a couple times. My sister lives in Miami. I've seen South Beach, and I could see
you got a sister in Miami?
Yeah, I do. Shout out to Carla
How old is
Deportes.
she?
She's 38. Everyone and their moms tell me that she's hot. So Dutch, I'm sure that you'd be in that.
Yeah, you could have bring her ass to San Antonio. Could have been one hot motherfucker in there, bro.
Yeah, well, hey, she sports Emmy, that Carla Deportes, she's won. I taught her sports, and she won a sports Emmy. So shout out to her. And I'll ask her for sure if James Harden would be out on those streets, because I definitely agree with you. Fucking South Beach, they got a lot of women. Dutch, I'm sure you blend right in there. You got a lot of vibes. You got those South Beach vibes, you got them.
I'll be in South Beach on Monday, actually.
Oh,
It'll be good times. Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I'll
You gonna wear like a
ladies,
nice
so I'll have
pink
to leave her.
blazer?
What's that, my man?
Were you gonna wear like a nice pink blazer, a nice like pastel color down there? What you thinking,
Man,
Dutch?
it's too fucking humid for a blazer, man. When was the last time you were in Miami? Actually, you're used to that humid being out there in Texas.
Yeah,
so
come
nah,
on,
I
dog.
won't be a blazer. Maybe on the late night though. I won't lie to you. We'll see. We'll see what's up. But I want to wear t-shirts and beach the whole time. I don't know if my lady's gonna let me get away with that though. She's already made reservations at the Versace, all this bullshit. All the bullshit that I really don't want to do. I just trying to vibe out on the beach, put a couple in the air and call it a day.
Yeah, you're just trying to sit in the beach with your Gucci flip-flops on, maybe a little spliff in the hand. Who knows?
Yeah, a couple paper planes, I'll be good, man. But I will definitely be catching the Miami Heat game. As long as everything goes as planned, I should be seeing a Miami Heat game. It might be Milwaukee, it might be Boston. I know you think it's gonna be Boston. I was thinking it was gonna be Boston, but good Lord, after last night,
Yeah,
I
Marcus.
can't think about Boston like that.
Marcus really hurt my feelings. We'll talk about those Celtics here in a second, but let's get into the Phoenix Sun, Dallas Mavericks real quick here. This has been, I'd say this is the second best series of the playoffs so far. Celtics Bucks is obviously number one. The Chris Paul, Devin Booker versus Luka the Don saga has been phenomenal. I'll lay out to you here, Dutch. I'm shocked that the Mavericks are in this series. I bet the Phoenix Sun to win the West, and I was pretty confident. I think the Phoenix Suns are the best team in basketball with all the boys going. I think personally, until last night, I thought it was Suns Celtics right in the books, finals right there. But I took a little hit last night, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm on the Suns here. I think the Suns win. And Dutch, by the way, you probably don't know this. I am tailing all of my guest plays no matter what. So whatever you play, Dutch, I'm tailing. So officially, you're on the 76ers, correct?
Yeah, you're already on the Celtics. You don't got to tell my shit, bro.
Okay, great. So what number are you on the Sixers money line, correct? Or what did you get?
-135.
Beautiful. All right, Sixers money
line.
line.
Can't get 135 and it's juiced up. I'm not mad at laying the 2.5. I just thought 135 was valuable from what I was seeing out there. But yeah, man, and I'm gonna give you credit too, though. I'm gonna give you credit though. You're not gonna like telling me though. We're opposite on both. I'm gonna give you credit. I'm gonna take it right back from you though.
Good,
Me and you was right there, Jose. I did think up until last night. I still believe Phoenix Suns will be in the championship, and I did think the Celtics were on their way. But last night that was an epic fail, bro. Big choke. So I'll give you credit there. You might know a little more about the NBA than I thought. But then again, you did say Luka CP3 matchup, man. There ain't no matchup there, bro. Luka is leaps and bounds. He's looking down on CP3's last. You want to talk about a matchup? Maybe we could bring Booker in there. Booker and Luka. Now that's a matchup. But
I think Luka's so much better than Devin Booker. I think it's Luka, and we got Devin Booker down here for sure.
I agree. But if we're talking about basketball, Devin Booker's one hell of a basketball player. But yeah, if we're talking about who I want, yeah, Luka's the motherfucking Don, bro. Don't get it twisted. Absolutely, I agree with you there too. I'm just saying when it comes to Chris Paul, Chris Paul's not on either one of their levels, and definitely not on Luka the Don's level. But yeah, man, I'm on the motherfucking Mavs tonight, bro. I'm on Luka the Don and the boys. I really like the first quarter look. You know, we've been on a little bit here in the series. You get Luka, first of all, you get Luka for the first 12 minutes, the whole first quarter. And if you know what I'm saying, that's a beautiful thing, getting that guy out there for the whole quarter. I love that. And the fact that the Suns have been a fade on the road, they literally have not won a first quarter. They have not been up. They've been tied in one first quarter on the road all postseason. They're 0-5 ATS first quarters on the road this season. Being outscored in the two games 3 and 4 in Dallas by 10.5 points. The Mavs, on the other end, are 5-0 ATS in the first quarters this postseason at the house, so they handle business in the first quarter early. And I just think minus 110 is what I got on that, my man Jose, minus 110 for that first quarter. This is a very nice look for me. I like this look an awful lot. And I'm on the plus 110 value-wise, strictly with the Mavs as well. Full game. Just, since we're keeping it a hundo, the 110 minus 110 is a bigger play for me that first quarter. But I'm not mad at the value with the Mavs plus 110. I don't like the way these Suns be acting, man, really. You're pissing off one of the best players in the game, a guy who's gonna, got a chip, man. He's got a chip on his shoulder in Luka, and that shit is contagious with his team. These boys will show up for him, and best believe Luka the motherfucking Don, the alpha on the court, will show up tonight. It'll be a game. It'll be a basketball game. Phoenix will play. I agree with my man Jose. They are the best team in the NBA, and I expect them to be in the Western Conference Finals. But I believe this will be going back to AZ set for Game 7. And what it really comes down to, my guy, because I know we're gonna get out of Luka. He'll give you 25, 30. He's gonna give you 10, 8 rebounds. 7, 8 assists. He's gonna give you his. He's gonna give you that, and he might even give you a little bit more tonight because I believe he's gonna be playing a little extra motivated from all little jabs that these Suns like to do. But it comes down to Brunson, DFS, and Bullock in that order. Those three boys got to show up tonight. Of course, we need Powell, we need Kleber, we need Bertans, we need Dinwiddie to show the fuck up. These guys all got to show up as a team at home, and I expect them to do it. But those three starters have got to play what they've done at home. They will win this game. They've averaged 53 points between the three at home. They averaged 30 in the 3 games in Phoenix. They have left their games when they go to Phoenix. So Brunson, DFS, Bullock, at least got one of them will show out, probably beat Brunson, but all three of them got to contribute, hit open threes, play some defense, play good basketball. And as long as you look at the stat sheet and those three guys have done what they need to do, they'll win this basketball game. I believe they will. Take the plus 110 in that first quarter is a beautiful thing.
Beautiful, lovely. I've had my shit locked down here, so I'm adjusting, and here we are, Dutch. There we go. This is on the fly adjusting, Dutch, right here.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Hey, I don't know. I just lost power.
Close up of Jose.
I know. Hey, you get a better look with a mustache. That's what people. That's
All
what
right,
people are here for, Dutch. That's what people are here for. So we've got you locked in. So let me go through your 3 plays here. You've got Philly money line minus 135. You got Dallas first quarter. You got plus a half, correct? Dallas first quarter plus a half at minus 110. And then Dallas full game money line plus 115. Correct, sir?
Yeah. What was that last one you said? My fault.
Dallas money line plus 115.
Yeah, you got 115 out there for me? I appreciate you.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dutch Boy Fresh, for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time out of your just such busy schedule and making the sacrifice of sharing the screen time with me, Dutch. Do you have any final words for the people in the chat?
All right, Mills asked me who I like more, the wee man, the plug, or the Luka man. Hey, man, after tonight it might be Luka, but tonight you already know Flowers #1. That's the baddest bitch around, bro. Shout out to my guy H-Town LJ. Be sure y'all follow him. Solid capper all the way around, doing it all. I see you, my guy. But yeah, man, tap in. What is it? Is it fucking nightcap tonight, Jose? You gonna be running the show?
No, that's fucking Dabby Cab and fucking my man Boston.
All right, good. Leave that shit to the grown men, man. Yeah.
The nightcap's past my bedtime. You guys know that.
Yeah, man. I'm just fucking with you, Jose. It's all up, man. You do a great job. Appreciate you, man. Hey, salute to the real ones. Y'all stay fresh.
Thank you, Dutch Boy Fresh, for joining us. Let's adjust here a little bit. We've got our new camera angle. Don't know what happened to other ones here. They just had a shutdown, but it is all right because we adjusted. We've got 2 computers and we're ready to go. So let's get into this last bit of the show. Let's recap the plays. Let's recap my plays and we'll get out of here. You guys can get a much better, dirtier close-up of the mustache. So I love it here. I love it. So Recapping the plays for us. We'll start with the NHL and Mr. Gogster. Blues money line at minus 104. Thinking the Blues dominate tonight and close out the series. The Edmonton LA Kings over 6.5 minus 102. We've got Big Ragu. New York Mets team total over 4.5 minus 130. We've got Houston, Minnesota under 8.5 minus 120. And the Dodgers team total over 4.5 at plus 115, along with the New York Mets, the New York Yankees, I should say. The New York Yankees money line at plus 126. My plays in the MLB. I've only got 4 today. We're cutting it back because we've had such shitty days these last couple of days here, and it's been brutal to say the least. Shout out to Ron Crawford in here. By the way, we'll shout him out before I get into my plays because Ron Crawford's on a fucking heater. Spreadsheet on the Blues and the Dodgers. So shout out to Ron Crawford. Ronnie Crawford on the Blues and the Dodgers here. Appreciate that. Dabby Cab getting a good laugh and look at the stash. You're getting a good look at it, Dabby, in person on Saturday. That's going to be a fun show, or actually on Sunday, I should say. Your CEV Saturday night, Sunday morning, the show with Dabby Cab. I have today, for my 4 official Say Hey plays today, we've got the Houston, Minnesota under 8.5 there with Big Ragu minus 120. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh over 8 at minus 125. Thinking that Overton and Brubaker both get touched. The Dodgers team total over 4.5 at minus 115. And I have the Dodgers team total over 4. Actually, sorry, I said that backwards. I have it at 4 minus 115 and 4.5 at plus 115. I also kind of like in the 5 at plus 150. I think the Dodgers do get a part of Zach Wheeler tonight. I just think he's been off a couple breaks, layoffs. I think he'll struggle tonight. Jay Peasy saying Dodgers run line ? I don't hate that. My only concern would be Tyler Anderson. I kind of was looking at Dodgers first 5 as well, but I will stick with just the run line or the team totals, I should say, but I do not hate a Dodgers run line look as well. All right, so let's let's shout out to chat and let's get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another edition of Betting with Bouquet. Even though my back says Say Hey plays and my front says Betting with Bouquet, you guys know what it is. Thank you guys so much. James S. in here, not applicable, taking the Blues and Kings money line. Yeah, by the way, James S., you're right. It only took a year to grow this mustache. You're right. And it's painted on, actually. I just painted on there. It's pretty fun. Not applicable, Dabby Cab, Ron Crawford, Lip Picks is on Suns 76ers. Jay Peasy in here. He's shouting out that money line, getting a better number for Dutch. I'll write that down for him. Thank you, Jay Peasy. Sam Colmer, Alex Gagnon, and doing NBA early. See, we just move a little quicker with me on the show. We only had, let's double check. We only had 14 games as well, so it was not even that much. Red Girl on the Suns, Wallaby King. Watch the replay. I hope you can enjoy it, my man. LJ from H-Town, by the way. Look at the stat of the day. Home teams today have won all the games and covered all 10 spreads by 17 points or more. Shout out to you, LJ. Not applicable in here. G. Martinez, Bruce Hayward, my man Mills, MMA Locker Room. I'm also on the Weed Man myself, by the way. Just my personal opinion. Rodney Barton joining us. G. Martinez, Wine Time Sports. Thank you guys all for joining us today. It is going to be fun. It is going to be a great time. And not applicable, this mustache is not going to be permanent. If we don't have a winning day here soon, I'm going to shave this damn mustache, and we are going to figure out a way to have a winning day. We're going to figure it out. Up 12 units. We're up 29-ish at one point, not up to down 12. So let's get it, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow back here again, 11:30, or I should say 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. And as always, we fucking don't do Central Time on this program because I can't do the math. And we'll see you guys next time.